Emma Hayes' appointment as manager of the U.S. women's national team. She, of course, takes over after a long spell at Chelsea, where she took over in 2012, 6 league titles there with Chelsea, 5 FA Cup titles with Chelsea, made it to a Champions League final where they lost to that iconic Barcelona team in 2021. She takes over for Vlatko Andonovski, who, of course, was dismissed after the 2023 World Cup failure, team going out in the round of 16. Everybody knows how thankful I am for Emma Hayes' hire. What about you? Are you thankful for Emma Hayes' appointment as the next U.S. women's national team manager?
Not as thankful as you. I am thankful because it's
there it is.
Well, because that was your number one, right? That's your
number one. Period. Number one in the entire everywhere world, planet Earth. My number one.
Would
candidate.
you put her over Serena Wiegmann? Would you put her over Wiegmann, who's been to 2 finals? She's been okay. You would put her over Wiegmann.
Yes.
I wouldn't. And I'm not saying that Emma Hayes isn't a fantastic hire. Why I am grateful for her, I think it's a progressive hire for U.S. soccer. I think it's them having a deep conversation with what they want to be, and if in their eyes Emma Hayes is the best women's coach out there, not available, out there, and they believe they have the best women's program out there, they need to go after a coach like this. With Emma Hayes comes change. Vlatko Andonovski was successful in the NWSL, was not successful with the U.S. women's national team. Emma Hayes has been successful pretty much everywhere she has been. Will remain to be seen with the U.S. women's national team. Now, what I love about this is she has expertise in a administrative role. So she knows how to build something. She knows about projects. She knows about building a roster, building a team. I do think there needs to be a complete overhaul of this program. And what I mean by that is we are now trying to, the U.S., play catch up to the rest of the world when it comes to the women's game. For the longest of times, you had a leg up because of Title IX and because you had these feeder systems or feeder programs in universities. Well, now the rest of the world has caught up. The women's game, they actually have academies, they have programs, they have major money and European clubs backing them. They have a built-in pipeline and system and great coaching that they are taking advantage of. They have the resources that they've never had that now you are trying to tap into. I think Emma Hayes can be a good bridge to that, so I'm thankful for that.
Yep. You talk about it being a progressive move. A lot of that comes down to the money, right? Reportedly, she's going to make around $1.5 million. That's around the same as Greg Berhalter. That's apparently going to make her the highest paid coach in professional women's soccer. So it is U.S. soccer putting their money where their mouth is. And it's tough for us. I'll certainly say for me on this show, it's not very often that we give U.S. soccer credit, but we got to give them credit because we have hammered them. And I think they have been hammered rightfully in the public space, basically going back to 2016, this equal pay fight with the women. Then on top of that, their significant role, I think, in the NWSL sexual abuse scandals. In 2021, there was a horrible language from the lawyers in 2020 that forced Carlos Cordero to resign as the president. All of that seems to have taught some people at U.S. soccer some lessons. And that lesson is coming through here in the money that's being sent. That's a significant amount. That's important. But it's not just the money that's being spent. They went and got a person from a club situation that she didn't want to leave, right? Emma Hayes was not trying to leave Chelsea. They went and they pried her away from Chelsea. And we got to give Matt Crocker, I think, a lot of credit for this hire. You see what he can do when he fully applies himself and has a lot of time. And it makes me question even more the appointment of Greg Berhalter on the men's side. Because if you could deliver the best candidate in the world on the women's side, how are we to accept an explanation that you landed on Greg Berhalter on the men's side, who is clearly, no matter what list you're working off, not your best candidate? That's the head scratcher here.
It's not a head
with
scratcher.
The Emma Hayes appointment.
It's not a head scratcher, Seb. You're trying to tell me the best coach in the world is going to play for is going to coach for $1.5 million on the men's side?
You could get a better coach than somebody for $1.5 million.
No.
You don't have to get the best in the world.
Okay, come close to that. Now, this isn't equal pay. It's on equity, and she's clearly in U.S. soccer's head or heart of hearts the best viable option, which is why she makes more than all her counterparts around the world. Greg Berhalter doesn't come close to those or his counterparts around the world. So to me, it was a bit of a business decision as well. I'm not saying it's the correct one, but it's just not a head scratcher for me.
Yeah. Much needed. That's the other reason we're real grateful for it, right? Much needed after the epic failure in the Australia-New Zealand World Cup, going out round of 16, worst World Cup ever for the U.S. women. And I'll just add this one final note. You know, I got to work with her when Emma Hayes was part of ESPN's coverage on the Euros. So, one, just for clarity's sake, I did get to work with her.
You vouch
Take everything
for
I
her.
say about Emma Hayes with a grain of salt. But I got to tell you this. I was incredibly impressed. She works in the club game. She came prepared to ESPN. She had a dossier on every international team in that European tournament. So the U.S. women have the players, and I guarantee you, Herc, they're going to be well prepared for what's coming. In the Olympics, even if she's only working for a few months, she's going to have the opposition well scouted, and she's going to have this U.S. team well
Looking
prepared.
forward
So there
to
you
it.
have it. Emma Hayes, one of the many things we're thankful for here on Futbol Americas in 2023.